Hi, I'm Michael D'Alessandro. Today I'm going to teach how to play a B minor scale on the piano, and I'm going to teach it using operant conditioning. Operant conditioning was first pioneered by a man named B.F. Skinner, who is considered to be the father of operant conditioning. He proposed a system by which people and animals learn, in which operant conditioning deals with responses to stimuli, positive and negative stimuli. So he theorized that a system of punishment and reinforcement that can be used to encourage certain behaviors and discourage other behaviors. He separated it into four different types. Negative punishment, which is the removal of pleasant stimulation, which will decrease bad behavior. Positive punishment, which is adding adverse stimulation, which will also decrease negative behavior. Positive reinforcement, which adds a pleasant stimulus and increases behavior, certain types of behavior as a result. And negative reinforcement, the removal of adverse stimulation, which also increases desirable behavior. So for the piano, it has a when learning a scale, when you're teaching yourself like I did, you sort of find your own negative punishment, which you realize is a bad behavior, which you want to avoid, and I'll explain. So upon a scale is 8 notes. You play a full octave from one note to the next instance of that note, which in this case is a B and then another B an octave higher, and you play 8 notes in between, and that is a scale. Now, if you're just if you're an untrained person or someone who has no experience with a piano, your first instinct to play all those notes in order with just one hand is to go. But then you quickly realize a problem, which is that there's 8 notes in a scale and you only have 5 fingers. So if you press the notes if you press the keys in order, you sort of strand yourself. And here I am with my pinky finger pressing a key, and the next note that I need to press is right over here, and I have no fingers left on this hand in which to press it. And you sort of, for a second, you find yourself straining your hand. There's no obvious thing to do next. In this case, you could either awkwardly keep going with the same finger, or you could move your whole hand, but that takes a little longer than just going to the next finger, and it's kind of awkward, and you leave a gap in your playing, and it's unpleasant. So every time, the correct thing to do is you quickly learn to play the first 3 notes in the scale, and then to move your thumb underneath, and then you can play the remainder of the keys all the way to your pinky finger. And now we've reached our desired end, and that's where my pinky finger is. So sort of, you play 3 notes, then you sort of reset your hand by moving your thumb underneath, and then you play the remaining 8 keys, 5 fingers, so you have to have that workaround. But you have to remember to do it after the 3rd key, because it's impossible after the 5th key. If you miss it, you can kind of do it after the 4th key to move your thumb underneath, but after the 5th, it's too awkward of a motion. It can't comfortably be done. And this is sort of the negative reinforcement, the negative punishment comes in the form of that feeling. It comes every time when you miss it. You go, and then you realize that there's no more fingers, and it's an awkward. You feel it in your hand. You find yourself contorting your hand in an awkward way, and it feels bad, and you're angry at yourself for forgetting that you should have 2 keys go, move your thumb underneath. when using your left hand, you encounter a similar problem. Although this time you can't you don't have to remember anything. You reach your thumb and then you can sort of just cross over with this finger. And now I'm crossing over with this finger. And here it's when descending the scale, I have to make note. This time crossing under with the thumb to complete the scale. So, and that concept applies to playing any scale in any key. I've just been playing the B minor scale, but the concept is transferable to any scale in any key. So here is the key of C major. So a scale is obviously the most basic thing that you will ever play on a piano. Playing an actual piece is more complicated, but the skill that you learn in playing a scale of moving the fingers, anticipating ahead of time which fingers to use and when to sort of move your thumb to start over to give yourself some leeway. It's a concept that will carry forward when you progress to more advanced pieces. And unlike some other instruments, when you're reading sheet music, especially for the first time, a new piece that you've never encountered before, you almost have to read ahead. You have to look ahead and think, okay, I'm looking at the note I'm playing now, but my eyes are sort of skipping ahead to see what notes I have to play later in this bar and even in the next few bars, and that will inform where I put the where I put my fingers, because you can play a note with any finger, but the best finger to use is the one that will allow you to play the next few notes as easily as possible without moving your hand all around, which can lead to awkwardness and lead to gaps in your playing. That was something that I struggled with when I first started playing the piano, but once you realize it's something you have to do, it's beaten into you because of that negative that negative punishment, positive punishment. It's because of that positive punishment of feeling yourself stranded, and after a while it disappears because it becomes second nature to you of where to have your hand in order to optimize your playing.